Welcome to On Record, where every word matters. A strong democracy needs a vibrant and engaging electoral process that produces legitimate elections, which are therefore the cornerstone of a true democracy. Hence, they are important. But elections are not enough if they are not conducted with integrity and able to reflect the real will of the people. Politics is too important to be left only to politicians alone, and elections are the key moments in political life since they are the foremost mechanism for peaceful and democratic rotation of leadership. Above all, elections grant each citizen the equal right to participate in the selection process of his or her political leaders and hold them accountable. Finally, elections with integrity have to afford citizens a mechanism to challenge contested electoral results through credible legal channels whose decisions are regarded as fair and impartial. Only when elections meet all these criteria can they fulfill their key role, which is to confer legitimacy on the winners and security on the losers and peaceful change for all. Hello everyone, welcome to On Record, the program where every word matters. Once again, my name is Oyin Priye Krumale. Joining us today,
every word matters.
Joining us today is Adebayo Olufemi. He is a senior programs manager in KDI. KDI is Key Impact Development Initiative. It's a youth-focused, non-profit, non-partisan, non-governmental organization that advances good governance, democratic rights, public policy, and public engagement. The KDI has administrative structures and partners in all the 36 states of Nigeria. They do this by building informed and active citizens through capacity-supportive environment for citizens-led development. Since March 2014, KDI has worked hand in glove with local and international bodies to promote peaceful elections and active citizens' engagement in democratic process and the reforms. And today, like I said earlier, we'll be joined by the senior programs manager Adebayo Olufemi from KDI. So let's take a breather here. We're going to break, and when we return, our business of the day continues. To stay with us.
Beyond the everyday conversations, away from the noise and rumors, despite the trends, every word counts, and it stays on record. Every weekday, 9 a.m. on your urban lifestyle station, High Impact 102.1 FM. Call us 0700-1021-1021. WhatsApp 0907-224-5018.
Put a touch of class and finesse on your brand by advertising with us at High Impact 1021 FM. For more information, call
0706 393 5694, 0915 958 1881, or 0902 745 3931.
Follow us on our social media platforms at High Impact 1021 FM. Our deals are hotter than the weather itself.
Welcome back, and many thanks for joining us on the program. And I have here joining us virtually via phone call a senior programs manager from Key Impact Development Initiative, a youth-focused non-profit, non-governmental organization that advances governance, democratic rights, and public policy and public engagement. And that's Adebayo Olufemi. Good morning, Mr. Adebayo, and welcome to On Record.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
You're very much welcome, Mr. Debayo. So, I'm sure your organization carried out some form of studies when we were approaching this election season. I remember speaking to one of your colleagues from KDI as well. We spoke extensively on democracy and governance and the preparations for Nigerian 2023 presidential, National Assembly, gubernatorial, and state House of Assembly elections, which we discussed exhaustively. But I'm glad I'm having this conversation with you. So before we really jump into our conversation this morning, Mr. Adebayo, there is this popular saying that to lead you have to be a role model. Would you say Nigerian political leaders exemplify this saying?
Okay, so well, for someone like me,
Yes.
I believe that every generalization is a fallacy.
Okay.
And if we're bringing together the political landscape of the country, if you ask me to answer in that regard, I'll tell you no, right? I'll tell you no without my words.
Okay.
But when we start looking at it from individual basis, of course, it's not every of the politicians, as far as I can say, I'm not a politician, but at least for 1, 2, 3, there will be exemptions of some individuals who are credible, who are competent, and who also has the mind of the people that want to make things happen for the people.
Yeah.
But if we're taking it to percentage, and that's where I will speak from, and I'll
Okay.
speak from, if we're taking it to percentage, right, you will agree with me that a large number of Nigerian politicians are not intrinsic in nature, right? They are not selfless in nature. So that's where I will see it from. So in terms of being a role model, yes, they've been role models. But is it a positive role modeling structure that we wanted, or the negative one that we're seeing? So maybe we need to also define it in that regard. But to answer your question, really, I think a larger percentage of Nigerian politicians really are just going there because of their selfish reasons, not because of the people, not because they want to serve. It's not about or servant leadership. It's not even about sometimes, or most of the times, it's not even about value-driven leadership. It's about their ego. It is about what they want to get. It is about the aftermath of it. And don't forget that our political offices,
yes,
there is a lot of monetary benefits. You know, I used to ask myself questions that, have you ever seen a retired politician? Is anyone like retired politician?
No. No.
An ex-political office holder, let me put it that way. Maybe a senator or a governor, or since we returned into democracy in 1999, that have left that position, and you notice that this individual was actually poor at the end of the day. I use the word poor deliberately. You might not be as rich as you were when you were in office, but did they really go back, 100% back to the point where they have been a pauper, or they couldn't even fend for themselves and the like? It has never happened. Right? You also see politicians making moves for them to have retirement benefits. So when it comes to all of these things, you can also conclude with all of the indices I mentioned that majority of these individuals are just going there for their selfish reasons, not because they want to serve the people. Okay.
Thank you very much, Mr. Olufemi. Now, let's go up a little notch. But before then, let me tell our listeners that you can, by 9:20, we will be opening the phone lines for you to call in. However, you can send in your WhatsApp messages to our WhatsApp line on 0907-224-5018. 0907-224-5018 for phone lines. For our phone lines, we will mention our phone lines when it is 9:20, so you can call in and participate. And my conversation this morning, once again, is with Mr. Adebayo Olufemi, Senior Programs Manager from Kimpact. Yes, Mr. Adebayo, let's continue. Now, elections. Just recently, we finished conducting our State House, gubernatorial and State Assembly elections, and we have equally looked at some things. We have equally looked at the presidential elections that took place on the 25th of February. So, normally people will say that democracy obliges leaders to listen to those they govern. Yes, around the world and also in Nigeria, voter participation and trust in politics and politicians is to change their lives for the better. And in Nigeria, this trust gap between the politicians and those who vote the politicians into office is very, very wide. Why do you think we have that?
Well, I think it's not far-fetched. It's not far-fetched. I remember that for us at King, we did a study
Okay.
because we are dream. We did a study as regards the age of Nigerians, and one of the things that we discovered from the study, it's pretty simple. Asking people, what are the thoughts behind your participation in the process? Why did you vote in 2019? That was after the 2019 general election.
Okay.
And one of the key things that you discovered is that, when you ask why people voted, largely, really, and that is why I always love to speak to data, largely, most of the respondents said, I felt it's my civic duty. That's about 2/3 of the respondents said, I felt it's my civic duty. But do you know that the second highest on that survey responses is that I love one of the candidates? That is why I voted in 2019 elections. And the third highest, which is about 11% of the respondents, saying I want to vote for my political party. Now, those three divides, right?
Yes.
Those three divides actually focus on three things. Number one, we have Nigerians that are patriotic, that said, yes, I have listened to voter education and I want to vote because I know that is the way I can choose the best leader for the country, right? To steer the affairs of the country for the next 4 years. We also have another divide that said, because I love the candidate, not political party. So there are Nigerians that doesn't belong to political party, but the choice of candidate of a political party interests them. And the third is that we have people that are staunch supporter of political parties. And this set of individuals are not up to the people that are just patriotic, that want to just go and vote. Now, these things have implications. For instance, and that is where you see that from our data, and I quickly want to link it to the data, electoral balance data we gathered on the March 18th. You discovered that most of the victims, most of the perpetrators of violence, based on the information we got, are political party thugs, followed by party agents. So these little fractions, right, become so emotional, become so much engrossed with their political party, then tends to unleash violence or whatever means to discourage the larger percentage that are just patriotic and want to just perform their civic responsibility, get them discouraged, because you know that even ordinarily Nigerians, we have in Nigeria we have a slogan. Permit me to say this in Yoruba. That I cannot come and die. Right? Really. And you see that Nigerians have that kind of attitude. So when they face a kind of act that discourages them, that strengthens them, that doesn't give them hope, they tend to push back. Most especially electoral process. I use the word that they electoral process, because they feel at the end of the day, if we didn't vote, they will choose the person. So these are all of the things that causes a kind of what we'll have always regard as voter apathy. But let me quickly go back to the study, right?
Yes.
To let you realize something from the study. When we looked at this, we now discovered that the higher percentage of the people that said they didn't vote in 2019 and why they didn't vote, I will also tell you, is that half of them, or majority of them rather, belongs to the age of 18 to 35, which are young people. So between 18 to 25, and in 2019, and even in 2023, the young people makes up 51.1% in 2019, and in 2023, the young people make up 37%.
37%. Yes.
Yeah, 37%. If this young person, these young individuals, if they didn't vote in 2019, based on some reasons they gave.
Yes.
And I'll quickly do that. And those reasons still exist are still with us till 2023.
Okay.
So if we're also experiencing low voter turnout, most especially we saw that play out in the governorship election, which is March 18.
Yes.
And I'll quickly also I will put that by the side, which I will talk towards why we have low voter turnout.
Okay.
But if you look at the reason why people said they didn't vote, let me quickly touch on it, right?
Yes, please.
One of the things is that most of them said they were observers. Most of them said they were hard-work officers. Most of them said their polling units are too far from them. Most of them said I didn't collect my PVC, yet to collect my PVC, right?
Yes.
And so if you look at that, young person, INEC deployed close to 1.5 million or more than 1.5 million electoral officers for the 2023 general election.
Young persons.
No, generally.
Okay.
Generally, returning officer, presiding officers, and all.
Okay.
But I would tell you, and based on the figure released by INEC, young persons are majority of those figures.
Okay.
So, for instance, in the presidential election, which is February 25th,
yes,
every Nigerian, so far you're young, you are registered, and you've collected your PVC, you're supposed to vote. Right?
Yes.
But just consider a fraction that have been systematically or systemic disenfranchisement because, number one, there is no early voting in the country, but they have to be deployed to a particular state, maybe because they are doing NYSC, and they have to be electoral officer on that fateful day.
Okay. Mr. Adebayo, let me ask this question. Okay, for the fact that a young individual has been deployed to act as ad hoc staff for INEC, it actually disenfranchises them from voting because they are in the process?
No. See, the point is there is no law that disenfranchises them.
Okay.
There is no law saying that they cannot vote, right?
Yes.
But let's consider the fact that there is no early voting in Nigeria. If you are registered in Lagos, you can't vote in Abuja.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if you're a youth corps member that have been posted out of station,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
How do you then vote? I'm just mentioning one.
Yes.
What about everybody that are essential workers on the election day, even police officers that have been posted out of station, deployed to another state,
And including journalists who cover the elections.
including journalists, right?
Yes.
So even sometimes election observers, citizen-trained observers,
Yes.
oftentimes doesn't vote. But these days, as civil society organizations, we've always encouraged them, before you go for observation, please vote before you go. And for us at KDI, one good thing we've done is please observe in your polling unit. That's the polling unit where you will vote, or the polling unit around you.
Okay.
Don't travel to the neighboring local government or thereabout. That is the measure we at KDI will put in place. So what am I trying to say is that look at the reasons. These are the reasons why people are saying they didn't vote. But let me quickly touch you something. There are individuals that said they didn't like the campaign.
Okay.
There are individuals that said, oh, I didn't have any credible candidate to vote for. So what I'm trying to say is that the choice of candidate, in terms of the campaign, rhetoric, and all of these things,
Yes.
there are individuals in Nigeria that still measures that. But now I have done the preamble.
Yes.
Let me go back to your question. Your question, as it were, is about distrust in the system.
Yes, the distrust. But before you go on, Mr. Adebayo, let me open our phone line so our listeners can call in. The numbers to call is 0700 1021 1021. I take that again, 0700 1021 1021. You can send in your WhatsApp messages to 0907 224 5018. We are looking at the review of the 2023 elections, the presidential, the National Assembly, the gubernatorial, and State House of Assembly elections. We are looking at the nuances, and my conversation this morning is with the Senior Programs Manager from Kimpact Development Initiative, Adebayo Olufemi. Many thanks once again for joining us on the program. Please go ahead with your perspective.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yes.
You know, we are having conversation on the distrust in the system.
Yes.
There are so many things why people we'll have reasons to say we're not trusting the process, right? Let's look at from 1999 till date. At one point, in 1999, 2003, 2000, I know that even in 2007, the then president, that was when the Ways Commission or the Ways Committee was inaugurated by the then president, late President Yar'Adua.
Yes.
He actually said and openly said that he knows that the election that brought him in was actually flawed, right?
Yes.
Now, these were days where elections were still going on in some states. In short, I knew precisely then, even in Ondo State, elections were still going on, but result has been announced in Abuja. Right? So these were days where ballot balls were being snatched. Violence is a tool to circumvent processes, right? These were days where you know that this election does not reflect the will of the people. Now, fast forward, let's go to 2011, let's go to 2015, 2019. We can categorically say there is a bit of improvement in the process.
Okay.
And when I use the word electoral process, it's not just about INEC, right? Not just about INEC. We have electoral stakeholders. Voters are electoral stakeholders.
Yes.
The citizens, that's the people I call voters.
Yes.
The electoral stakeholders, right? Political parties, candidates, the electoral stakeholders. Commission, the media,
yes.
INEC, when I say commission,
yes.
the media, they are electoral stakeholders. So, if you look at all of these things, so there is a bit of improvement in the process, 2011, 2015, 2019, in a way, right? In a way, the bit of improvement. But 2023, we discovered that even in 2011, 2015, 2019, we're still encouraging young people, voters, to come out and vote because some of the things that have happened in 2003, 2007 has been discouraging. But if you look at what happened in 2023, the trust deficit became so large because of some of the things that have happened. For instance, how do you trust a process where the umpire has actually consistently be saying that, you'll be able to see the result from polling units live on a particular platform. But on the presidential election day, something happened, whatever reason that we're giving. So for us, it is just an opportunity that was missed to be able to cut down the trust deficit between Nigerians and the electoral process. And these are some of the reasons why we are having low voter turnout. Let's go back to
Okay, Mr. Adebayo, please let me butt in here. Now, do remember that even prior to the elections proper, when we're going through the registration process, where INEC was busy canvassing Nigerians to come and collect their PVCs, or to register for their PVC and to equally collect their PVC, we saw that it's been unparalleled, the number of people who came to register for their PVCs and who equally went forth to collect their PVCs. About more than 90 million people came out to register, and more than 83 million people thereabout collected their PVC, which is quite different, which is quite a large amount of making progress compared to what we've done before. But this particular progress in the registration and collection of PVC did not reflect in the voter turnout. Exactly. So I need you to quickly speak on that.
I just hope we have a bit of time.
Yes, please.
This level you took me to, right? So let's start from the beginning. During the CVR, the continuous voters registration.
Yes.
INEC said about 12 million Nigerians registered.
Yes.
Comprising of those that want to replace their damaged PVC deep transfer and all.
Yes.
When they run the AVs, right? AVs or AVs, there were invalid registration that was gotten. So it was valid registration became 9.5 million.
Yes.
Right? Of the 9.5 million, young persons make up 70% of 9.5 million. So it was the 9.5 million that were added to the 4 million of 2019 to make 93 million of 2003. That's the figure we went into the election with. But don't forget this, that young persons in 2023 reduced compared to what we have in 2019. So from 51.1% of the total voters registered in 4 million, young persons reduced to 36 or 37% in 2023. That's the first thing I want you to know.
Wow. Could you please take that again?
Now, if we continue, INEC released a figure that 86 million Nigerians collected PVC out of 93 million.
Okay.
That's about if you're taking it to percentage, that's about 90-something%, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Now, the question you will ask yourself, or Nigerians are asking, and let's just ask ourselves generally, is that with some of the things we observe in PVC collections, some of the videos making rounds in the media. Of course, I'm not basing my my conversation on the videos on the social media.
Okay.
But some of the things we observed as an organization, there are individuals in Lagos, in Abuja, just very close to me here, in Abuja, there are individuals that were unable to collect their PVC. Right? And there are individuals that are press registered that they said they should come back after 2 weeks.
Yes.
And up to when the PVC collection stopped, right?
Yes.
There were people that didn't get their PVC. Let's just say these are the 6.5 million people that didn't collect PVC, or maybe, 6.5 or 6 million people that didn't collect PVC. I don't want to talk about that, right, really. But the question in itself is, are we truly having low voter turnout in Nigeria? Since 2011, we've been adding people to our voters register.
Yes.
And at what point did we say we are removing people that have died? At what point are we saying we are removing people that have jackpot because there's no diaspora voting in a time like this in the country?
Yes.
But of course, INEC will do claims and objectives. How accurate is this claim and objective that INEC is saying is doing? So these are conversations we have. Do we truly have 93 million registered voters in the country?
Oh, okay.
So these are conversations we need to have before we talk about voter turnout.
Okay.
But another concern again is this. Voter turnout in the country has been consistently be compared to registered voters. Right? So, but at what point are we expecting the 93 million to come and vote? We are not expecting 93 million individuals to come and vote. We're expecting people that have collected PVC to come and vote. So if we have PVC collection, why are we always calculating voter turnout with registered voter when we are not expecting the people that registered to come and collect? We're only expecting the people that got their PVC, because without PVC you cannot vote. That is the law from INEC.
Yes.
That is what the guideline is saying. So at times I query some of these things talking about low voter turnout. I query them because really, I think we need to calculate better. We need to do more with figures in this country. We need to plan more with figures.
Okay.
You know, another major concern, maybe 2023 that changed. But from the last time I checked, in Oshu and Ekiti election, INEC was also preparing with registered voters.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let me take you to another aspect of this conversation. Let me ask this question before we go on a break. I hope you're still there, Mr. Adebayo.
I'm with you.
Yes. Now, democracy obliges leaders to listen to the concerns of those people they govern, or else they get ousted through election when these people whose concern they refuse to listen to go to the polls to cast their vote. Now, would you say in Nigeria those who go to the polls to cast their vote enjoy this privilege?
That's a 1 million question, right?
Oh, it is?
Right, it is a $1 million question, right? Because really, I think legitimacy.
Mr. Adebayo, sorry to cut you once again, and probably we will need to go on a break and come back and take this particular question because I'm asking that because there are lots of concern because prior to elections, let me give a vivid example of what transpired in the United States of America when former President Donald Trump was on the seat of power. It was so obvious that he was not going to win the next elections. And that was what happened. So if truly the saying goes that democracy leaders must listen to the people, and if they don't listen to the people, when the time comes for the people to wield their power, which is their PVC, to go to the polls, they can deal with any leader who refuses to listen to them. But it looks like I want to ask if in Nigeria that particular scenario, that particular portrait that has been painted is holding waters. But before you respond, let's go on a break. Please stay on the line. When we return, our conversation continues. It's on record where every word matters. We'll be right back in a moment.
Do you know bad production can kill a great content idea?
Do you want to have a photo shoot, audio production, or do you need a professional voiceover artist?
Do you simply want unmatched cinematography, video production, or just event coverage, such as weddings, birthdays, or burials?
Or do you need a space for meetings or conferences? All these are possible with High Impact Studios. Don't bring down your creativity, let's help you take it high.
And out of this world with our state-of-the-art equipment and first-class studio space.
We give you the quality you deserve at the best rate.
For more details, call 0706 393 5694 or 0915 958 1881. High Impact Studios, the future.
Put a touch of class and finesse on your brand by advertising with us at High Impact 1021 FM. For more information,
Call 0706 393 5694, 0915 958 1881, or 0902 745 3931.
follow us on our social media platforms at High Impact 1021 FM. Our deals are hotter than the weather itself.
Our deals are hotter than the weather itself.
If it's public opinion, expert analysis, information that matters to you, we have it on record Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. on High Impact 102.1 FM. Call us 0700 1021 1021. WhatsApp 0907 224 5018.
On record.
Every word matters.
A very good morning to you once again, and welcome to the program. I've been having a conversation this morning with Adebayo Olufemi, a senior programs manager from Impact Development Initiative, and we have been looking at reviewing the 2023 elections and the nuances of it. And you can participate on the program and call into the program to tell us and give us a reason to why you vote. Don't tell us who you voted for, but why you voted for. What made you to vote? Because we are not carrying out a survey on who voted for who. No, why you voted in the 2023 elections, and if your expectation as a person, as a Nigerian, has been met by what we have at the moment now. Yes, Mr. Adebayo Olufemi, senior programs manager from Impact. Many thanks once again for joining us on the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, we were going to entertain the question, since we said that even in other climes or in democracies across the world, leaders listen to the people who they govern, and if they do not listen, or if they do not listen and do the will of the people, they get ousted from the saddle of power. We want to know if the Nigerian voters, by virtue of the voting trend, probably from 1999, 2003, 2007, 2011, 2015, 2019, or 2023, if Nigerian voting, the way Nigerian voting psychology is, if we enjoy this privilege and if we are wielding the power of the PVC.
No, I think yes. Let me say yes. But the whole challenge is the consistency of this. Or let me say the consistency of institutions, democratic institutions in the country, allowing this power to manifest without hindrance.
Oh, okay.
I think that's the word for me. Nigerians, young people, women, both old and young women, people with disabilities, the media, every of the stakeholders have always, at every point, understand that, yes, PVC is my voice. My vote is my power. And we've been talking about this, retreating it in the mind of the people. But if you look at it, what are our democratic institutions? How are they setting bases and platforms for all of these things to happen? No, let's cast our mind back. In 2011, in 2003, 2011, 2015 to be precise, to 2019,
Okay.
you discovered that those periods were a great period in the electoral process where a lot of things changed, technically. Let me start from 2015.
Okay.
When Nigerians used their PVC, their votes to unseat an incumbent president. And that's the first time we are having that kind of transition to opposition in Nigeria. And that went seamless. But let's ask ourselves a question, right? That if the then incumbent president, that I'm talking about President
Jonathan.
did not concede to defeat, what will we be saying today? That is where we're talking about. We need people that are selfless. We need people that put the interest of the nation at heart. But let's come back. That is just individual. But let's come back to institutions. I think we have great men in Nigeria, but we don't have great institutions. And that is the problem why it seems votes are not counting, the will of the people are not represented. For instance, let's speak institutions by institutions.
Okay.
And I will just pick three.
Okay.
Now, I will pick the security agencies, maybe specifically the police.
Okay.
I will pick INEC as the electoral umpire, and I'll pick the judiciary. Let me start with the judiciary. Right?
Yes.
The judiciary gradually is becoming a victim of the system too. Because since 2011, there hasn't been election conducted in Nigeria that didn't end up in court,
Yes.
in the tribunal, at the tribunal.
Yes.
In 2011, there are about over 500. There are over 500 petitions after the 2011 general election that got to tribunal. We monitored this process in 2019. There are over 811 petitions that got there. So that's to tell you that there will always be contestation. There will always be the electoral dispute.
Yes.
But it's a good thing that politicians are seeking redress through legal means and they are not resorting into violence.
Okay.
That is an advantage. But let's come back to what we are discussing is the fact that now, if you look at what is happening in the judiciary, you discover that even this.
Hello? Mr. Adebayo? Oh, there. Mr. Adebayo? Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now. I think we lost you briefly.
Okay, so I'm just talking about the fact that the judiciary is also a victim of the system now.
Okay.
Because it seems there are a lot of issues coming on, and I want to speak from the citizen perspective.
Okay.
Of course, I understand that it is justice according to the law, not law according to justice.
Justice according to the law, not law according to justice. Would you quickly marry that together for us so we can understand what each means? Justice according to the law or law according to justice?
We use my friends have been hearing technicalities.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Adebayo, I think we briefly need to go on a break. We need to because we have we are losing you, and we want to make sure that our listeners we get some of the a good perspective of what exactly you are talking about. So briefly, let's just go on a break, and we will return back. Hopefully, the lines will be clearer. Do stay with us.
Put a touch of class and finesse on your brand by advertising with us at High Impact 1021 FM. For more information,
call 0706 393 5694, 0915 958 1881, or 0902 745 3931.
Follow us on our social media platforms at High Impact 1021 FM. Our deals are hotter than the weather itself.
Our deals are hotter than the weather itself.
Beyond the everyday conversations, away from the noise and rumors, despite the trends, Every word counts, and it stays on record. Every weekday, 9 a.m. on your urban lifestyle station, High Impact 102.1 FM. Call us 0700 1021 1021. WhatsApp 0907 224 5018.
The best music, the best people, the best talk on High Impact 102.1 FM. Watimagbo.
On record.
Every word matters.
Welcome back, and many thanks for joining us on the program. We still have Adebayo Olufemi on the line. He's a senior programs manager. Do remember that you can call into the program 0700 1021 1021. Tell us the reason why you participated in the 2023 elections, most especially if you've not been voting before, and why did you have a change of mind this time? Yes, Mr. Adebayo, please continue with your line of thought where I asked you to make some level of clarification between justice according to the law and law according to justice.
Okay, so like I said, it has always been justice according to the law and not the law according to justice. Right? Okay. So what that means is, let me quickly explain this with a case of what happened in Osun State in 2018. Okay. When Adeleke versus Oyetola went to the tribunal. Yes. Now the lower court, which is the Election Petition Tribunal in itself, declared Adeleke said Adeleke was the winner of that election based on whatever reason that was adduced or reason that was taken. Okay. Right? But when the APC and the Oyetola camp went to appeal the case, what they took to the appeal court is that the justice or the judge that read the lead judgment at the tribunal was absent in a day when a vital evidence was admitted. Yes. So he's not fit to read the judgment. That was the appeal. Okay. And the Court of Appeal said, yes, he's not fit. So they said, Oyetola should remain. So Oyetola is the governor. Okay, so is that the justice according to the law? Is that justice according to the law? So the law was actually, the law also spoke about quorum. The law, the Evidence Act is also something that spoke about the issue of admitting evidence. Yes. So when we did a legal analysis of this, it's also saying that is true. So when you are admitting evidence, body language, the understanding of what the person is doing, body language, the countenance, the demeanor of individuals are part of the evidence. So if the judge is not in the court that day, is not fit to read. But do you know that the upper court didn't talk about did Oyetola win election or not, which is talking about the will of the people. I don't know if you're getting what I'm trying to say. Perfectly. So basically, we've seen all of these things plays out. We've seen individuals that didn't partake, that didn't contest at the primary elections, but you see the court saying he's the candidate of a political party. A lot of them happened towards 2023 elections. So practically, we've seen that there is an elite capture of a judiciary, which is not also good for our system. So this is also an arm of the government, an arm of democracy that should uphold the tenet of democracy. But we are seeing that interpretation of our laws, and I'll tell you, the laws, the way at which they interpret laws, there are about 4 different ways of interpretation of laws. But I tell people, our socio-economic status of our socio-economic state in the country does not allow us to interpret law in some basic ways. Okay. Because we don't, for instance, let me quickly go to what happened in Imo State. Okay. You know, some of the things that happened in Imo State, some persons were likening it to some of the things that happened at the Supreme Court. I won't say more than that. Okay. But if you look at it, we don't have the luxury of interpreting law in some basic ways. I think we need to interpret law in a way that solves the problem that provision of the law is aiming to address. Okay. Now, because at times, our socio-economic condition in this country, when we interpret law in a certain way, we push more people into problems. Okay. We push a state into jeopardy. Okay. And more persons will be sliding into poverty. So
Okay.
we need to interpret law in a way to solve problems, not creating additional problems.
Okay.
That is the first aspect.
Miss,
I said I want to talk about 3 institutions.
yes, I know you want to talk about them, but before we jump into the other 2 institutions, because I see you've spoken extensively about the judiciary, and even this follow-up question I wanted to ask is to buttress that particular point, because it looks as if the judiciary has been before, directly or indirectly, the judiciary now seem to seem to be playing a role where it has the right, the power, by virtue of the function that it performs, to more like dictate what happens in the Nigerian election. So if you said the elite in one sublime form has captured the judiciary, what does this portend for our democracy?
So it is not the best for democracy, I must say, right? Because how will, for instance, there are about 1,500,000 thereabouts that came out to vote in the governorship election in Kano State.
Okay.
And eventually, the court says that, oh, this person did it with, give it to the other person.
Okay.
And the court declared the winner.
All
Now,
right.
what happened to the number of people that came out to vote on the election day and thought that the vote counts, but a 5 or 3 man panel will sit and we say, no, we are not interested in the figures. This is the winner. That
Okay.
alone is contributing to low voter apathy.
Okay.
Because it's like we are having court-dependent democracy. It's like we are having court-dependent democracy. As I'm talking to you, for the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, there have been about 4 to 5 motions
Yes.
that have been filed at the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal.
Okay.
Just yesterday, because we are monitoring the process, just yesterday we
Mr.
discovered
Adebayo.
that the Labour Party and Obi has actually filed their petition. So let's imagine all of these things that the court is now deciding. Then why do we have to go through the rigor and spend money for elections?
Yes, because people are going to have to, feel aggrieved. To have to give a level playing field for those who feel aggrieved, maybe by the way things were done, so they can air their view. Mr. Adebayo Olufemi.
But I think the court. Okay, please go ahead.
Yes, please. I want to specifically. I want to get your word on record that we are going to have you again. We would love to have you again, and that you will turn up when we put that call across to you.
Yeah, definitely. There is a lot to assess in this election. But
Okay.
briefly, if you allow me to give my closing thoughts, if it is time for that.
Okay, I will just take 1 minute of that, and I equally need you to either acquiesce or decline what I said earlier. That I would love to bring you back up again, because our listeners are listening.
Oh, definitely. Please do let me know in time when
Okay.
you want to bring me back. I'll be happy, more than happy, to come and do a bit of analysis, generate insight for our Nigerians.
Oh,
Because
thank you so
I
much.
personally
I get
believe
that. Okay, so you
I-
can do your 1 minute closing remark now.
All right, thank you so much.
Yes.
So basically, one thing I want to state is that I think for us as a people, post-election, which we're already entering into post-election, we
Yes.
need to have conversation on bundling INEC.
Okay.
Categorically, INEC is doing a lot of things. I'm not making excuses for INEC, but I
Yes.
think the Electoral Commission in Nigeria is not ripe for all of the mandate it was given. For instance, INEC will do logistics, INEC will do training, INEC will conduct election, INEC will do party monitoring, campaign finance, INEC will monitor political party primaries, INEC will be in charge of logistics, printing, INEC will be the one training observers, INEC will be the one accrediting observers, INEC will be the one doing voter education. I've counted about 9 to 7 or
Okay.
7 to 9 things that INEC is doing. But if
Okay.
you look at the United States, you basically talk about the Electoral Commission in the United States, they do
Okay.
only one thing,
Okay.
which is political party monitoring.
All right.
campaign
Thank you.
finance.
Thank
So
you.
I think we need to onboard
INEC.
INEC
Okay.
so that we can have good elections.
Yes, Mr. Adebayo Olufemi is a senior programs manager at Kimpact Development Initiative. Thank you so much for this robust conversation we had with you. We are going to have you hopefully next week again, so we can really have you talk about some of these things that we didn't touch about today, talking about voter psychology in Nigeria, the voting trend, and all of that. Thank you so much for your time this morning, Mr. Adebayo.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Yes, you're very much welcome, rather. Let's briefly go on a break. And when we return, we will quickly, we have another guest in the studio and we will talk briefly about what we need to talk about, which is very, very important. Then we'll call it a day.
If it's public opinion, expert analysis, information that matters to you, we have it on record Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. on High Impact 102.1 FM. Call us 0700-1021-1021. WhatsApp 0907-224-5018.
On record.
Every word matters.
Good morning once again. Before we call it a day on record, we have a representative of the, I always make these mistakes, the National Conservation Foundation, Nigerian Conservation Foundation. It's the International Day of Forest, and they want to briefly talk to us about that. And I have the communications manager, Mr. Dolakbo. Mr. Oladakbo Shonoye, apologies. You're welcome once again to the program.
All right, so thank you for having me. Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Nigerian. So today is International Day of Forest. So basically, what do we use today for? We use today to commemorate and talk about forest protection, forest restoration, highlight importance of forest to humanity, highlight the essence of having healthy forests. Like this year's theme is healthy forest for healthy people. Talk about the fact that our forests need to be intact. Forest reserve need to be kept as it's supposed to be. The forest cover we're supposed to have in Nigeria should be the percentage it should be, so that we can live a healthy life. As we know that, especially the issue of quality air. For us to have quality air, we need to have a healthy forest. So that's very important to us. So a day like this is used to discuss such matters.
Okay, we say we need to have quality air. If we need to have quality air, we need to have forest. A place like Lagos, it's a metropolitan city.
Yes.
Do we have forest in Lagos apart from your?
Apart from Lekki Conservation Center,
yes,
we have some pocket of forest here and there. Go to Ekpe, you see. Go to Bogila, you see. Igbo Elerin, and some other Badagry area, you have forest and all the rest. So, but Lekki Conservation Center is still the only place that's adjudged as a place with the best air quality.
Air quality,
yes,
and that's within that environment.
Yes, because the forest has been left the way it is after its regeneration, so, and it has not been tampered with. It's a forest to have 78 hectares, so it is. So that's one of the things we use today to talk about. The forest, a parcel of land that been gazetted or designed for reserve. As a reserve means that you cannot go there to develop anything, no infrastructure, no, let it just be. So let us leave it the way it is. It is serving its own purpose, purpose of providing quality air,
yes,
at least oxygen for us to breathe in, and also it serve as food for wildlife.
Okay.
Then it also serve, sometimes some community dwellers also depend on those forests in terms of maybe they go there to pick snail, go there to pluck this and all the rest. Their source of livelihood is also dependent on that forest. You see. So and then having forests also help us prevent some erosion, because sometimes when you don't have all these trees standing and the rain fall heavily, you just find erosion, flood.
Okay, let me point out this example. That's why I didn't want to talk about even the Lekki area where we have the Lekki Conservation Foundation. Center. If you go from Apapa, if you come from Apapa, you move down straight to Maryland. From Maryland, you're moving down, maybe not straight to Ikorodu. Maybe you get to somewhere there, then you're coming down to 7-Up. As if we have a phone call. Okay. Hello. Good morning. Many thanks for joining us. Your name, where you're calling us from. Okay. All right. So when you move towards this spans of land that I just painted, there is no forest there. Would you say the air that we breathe in those places are not clean?
What it is that in developed city, on the main road you can't be having forest. You may have trees, trees either to provide oxygen that's supposed to be. I remember Governor Fashola introduced that, and we're doing every tree planting and trying to. It looked as if everywhere certain people started complaining everywhere is tree. Now tree we go shop because people didn't really know the importance. I remember even at the time when we approached some schools that wanted to plant trees in their compound, they said, when you plant this tree now, their leaf will begin to fall up. They will begin to sweep. That's the way people look at it. They don't look at the positive, the benefit the tree will serve, especially in terms of providing air to breathe oxygen, in terms of providing shade for them. Providing shade for me is very, very important in terms of preventing even the wind that blows around. It helps us to moderate and control it, the flood, and so many other things. And some of these trees are economic trees. When you say economic trees, some of them may be fruit tree that when they become ripe, you can pluck the fruit. Even for the students, they eat. Even for community people, even for people in Lagos.
Yes.
So we can't have forests along that road.
Okay.
We can only have trees planted
on those places, and it will have the same effect that the forest will have if it's close to them.
It might not be totally, but at least it will provide. We are sure that you can have quality air. You are sure that you have shade. You are sure that at least as economic trees, sometimes you may be able to just get there and pick fruit and all that. Then it also beautify our environment. Also beautify our environment. That's also very, very important for us. And then you discover that birds will come and perch on some of these trees.
Yes.
Looking at birds in itself has its therapeutic beauty that it does for the body. You just look at them. There are things you just observe that you're fine, you're okay. You know, and that's it.
Okay, Mr.
Oladakbo
Shoneye, the communications manager for Nigeria Conservation Foundation. Apologies for our time has really gone far. Thank you so much for your time this morning and telling us about how important the forest is in Nigeria and to our environment. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. We believe next time we have more time.
Exactly. Yes, many thanks for joining us this morning on Record. My name is Oyin Priye Krumala, and this is where we draw the curtain. Many thanks for listening. Good morning.
Do you know bad production can kill a great content idea?
Do you want to have a photo shoot, audio production, or do you need a professional voiceover artist?
Do you simply want unmatched cinematography, video production, or just event coverage, such as weddings, birthdays, or burials?
Or do you need a